Welcome to Techstination. Joining us is Bryan Emrich, the founder of a company called Breadcrumb. Thanks for joining us, Bryan.
Well, thank you for having me. You're quite welcome. I appreciate it.
And this has nothing to do with pork chops in a frying pan. Tell us what Breadcrumb's all about.
Certainly. So we're a startup really focused on connectivity in the outdoors and bringing really safety. We have a couple of products, but our key one is bringing safety to those in an affordable manner.
So describe for us what the devices are.
Certainly. So we've got really two lines. One is really focused on archery, and we've developed the world's first Bluetooth trackable nock, which is the part that goes in the end of the arrow. And that's so that you can recover your arrows while you're practicing, or if you're out hunting and you want to make sure you have a good recovery, those kinds of things. It's really a niche product for that archery group. The bigger product that we have is called our location marker, which will be repositioned really soon under the personal safety beacon with a couple of software and hardware changes. But this device is about 2x2, and think of it as a really amped up tile, if you're familiar with tile. So it's Bluetooth enabled. It connects to your phone and it leverages all the technology on your phone. It will give you last known GPS location. It allows you to activate light and sound. And most importantly, though, you can share that specific device with people that you care about or that care about you. So while you're in the outdoors, it allows others that have been shared, only those that have been given access, it allows them to connect to that device from up to 150 yards away via Bluetooth on their phones. And so what it does is it bridges that gap of, okay, I've got an iPhone or an Android device that I can connect to people when I'm in the outdoors, but if something goes wrong and there's no cell signal, or I can't get to my phone, or it's been a number of hours and the phone is dead, this device lets others who want to come and find you connect via their phones via Bluetooth. It gives them proximity indication about how far away they are. And then once they connect, they can activate the 5 bright LEDs or the very loud sound chip that's on that device. And the key is when a cell phone is dead, which is basically worthless without a cellular connection anyways, from a connectivity to other standpoint, this device will continue to broadcast for up to 6 months on 2 AAA lithium batteries. And so the ability to do that at a $40 price point enables an entire family, as an example, to put one of these on all their kids when they go camping, or for someone to put one on their pet when they're hiking and they want to just make sure that they're within 150 yards of their animal. Or we've had somebody just recently gave us an example. They were mountain biking. They actually had an accident and crashed off the trail. And they had shared this with their buddy who was riding with them, and they were able to actually connect to them off the trail where they wouldn't have seen them and activate the sound, and they knew right where they were at. He had unfortunately gotten a bit of a concussion and wasn't conscious, but turned out to be just fine, got some scrapes. But, it's a way to connect to others that you can't really do with other devices.
How do you accomplish a 150-yard range using Bluetooth?
We often get that question, and I think the easiest way to describe it is, when you put your earbuds in or you're listening to a wireless speaker and you walk away and you're like, oh, it's been 20 feet and now I'm having trouble. That Bluetooth stereo signal is a very complex one. Ours is a very simple, it's a ping basically. And because we have so much energy to shoot this ping out, we're able to connect to devices much, much further than you would normally think. Most people think of Bluetooth connectivity as Bluetooth around music signals. And so it's just built a little bit differently. On our Knox, as an example, the battery power that we use there, the batteries are so small that we can only get about a 50-yard connectivity. And it does clearly depend on what's in between you and that signal. If it's a heavily wooded area, it might only be 75 yards. But if it's an open field, we've actually seen it work very, very nicely up to 150 yards.
And so the location marker runs on batteries that readily available, right? These are replaceable batteries.
Correct. And that's the idea. So whether you're using this because, you're a hunter and you put it on your safety vest, or if you're mountain biking or camping, typically, if you need to replace those batteries, those AAA batteries, and they don't even have to be lithium, they just work a little bit better. Those can be found at any gas station or Dollar General or whatever it may be. And so, the idea of having this device with very relatively cheap batteries, the app that we use, our Breadcrumb app, is absolutely free. And so if you want to share your location with 50 people or your device with 50 people, it's free for all of those people as well. So it's a one-time fee, and it's very, very user-friendly.
Well, describe for us some of the use case scenarios. You've gone over a couple, I think, but tell us what you think
certainly.
the main use cases might be.
Yeah, and what I want to clarify is this device really, it fits in a really important area, I think, for sort of the everyday family or people. On one end, again, you have your iPhone, which works fine if you always have a cellular connection and you're not worried about, I'm going to be somewhere where I might be out long enough where my battery would die. The other end of the spectrum is very expensive, $450 to $700 satellite units, which can relay that satellite location to someone, but then it requires a $30 a month or $20 a month connectivity fee. Ours fits in that middle. And so some of the examples that we love to use, and I hit on it before, if you're a family of 5 like we are, and we want to go camping and let our kids go play, I can clip one of these on each one of them and let them off and run. They're not going to go more than a football field away. And if they do, certainly, we can go out and look for them. And as soon as the phone connects, we know we're within 150 yards. And so I think that's a great example where now this unit, which can be repurposed in lots of different ways. If you're going fishing, you can take it fishing. And if you don't come home, people can find you. If you're mountain biking, if you're hiking in a defined area, that's where this device works so great because it's affordable. It allows others to connect directly to that device, unlike a satellite unit or even a phone. You have to call a phone, or if you use Find My Phone like Apple has, you can get in a general area, but only if that battery is still going. And so I think sort of the weekend outdoor activities work really, really well. Another example for me is I have a German Shepherd, and she has a training collar, but I use that when I'm training her. I can put this device on her collar, she can run off, and as soon as I activate the sound and it beeps, she knows it's time to come home. I don't want to zap her. She's not being trained or she's not in trouble. But that's just another creative way to say, hey, I know she's within a football field to me, and now I can beep it and listen and look for her, just like if I was looking for my kids.
Very interesting. So what do users see on their phones when they're looking for the location marker?
Certainly. So what our app does is it will give you a number of options. One is last known location. And so it gives you on a map, it'll drop a pin, literally a breadcrumb pin, and it will show you the last known location. From there, we give you the option to hit the map function, and you can use Google Maps, Apple Maps, you can use Waze, and you can go directly to that location. If it's somewhere near a road or whatever, sometimes that's helpful if you're looking for somebody. But if it's just, hey, here's the last time it was connected, here's the pin. Then there's another screen that allows them to look at proximity. So it's kind of a hot and cold with Breadcrumb. It really comes down to, with Bluetooth in general, including Breadcrumb. It'll give you a proximity, of close, closer, very close. But as soon as it connects, even 100 yards out, it'll then pop up the ability for you to activate the light and activate the sound, or either one. And so as you're walking in, say you've got, you're looking for somebody who is backpacking and they hadn't come home yet. Perhaps they fell and they twisted their ankle and they've fallen asleep just waiting for someone to come find them. If you have 2 or 3 people, you can go 100 yards apart for each one of those. And now you can say you're covering 500 yards. You just do a grid. As soon as one phone connects, that person has the ability to activate the light and sound. But also, if you're in an area where it can go up to the cloud and then broadcast down, all of a sudden everybody's phones are updated to say, here's the last kind of area on the map, and everybody can converge. And so the functionality to share is very simple. That's another screen on our app. You simply put somebody's email in. The system will email them all the information. If they already have the Breadcrumb app, the device that was shared will automatically show up under their shared devices on basically their screen that shows all the devices they have access to. There'll be your devices and then devices that you've been shared. And if they've not ever had the app, the email will give them the link. And as soon as they download the app and use the same email, it'll automatically show up in their shared devices as well. The app will show you the current battery strength of the last time the device connected. It'll say, hey, your battery's, at 50%, so you might want to refill that. And it gives you a lot of other information, including, which is important, the ability to name or rename each individual device whatever you want. So if I've got 3 of them for my kids and we're camping, I could name, John, Jake, and Lauren can all have their own. And then if I want to repurpose that or use it for a different use case, I can then go in and change that name. And anybody that device has been shared with, that name will automatically change under their shared devices list. And so very easy, very user-friendly. We like to keep it simple to make sure that everybody has the best experience with the product and the app.
Using with kids or pets, that kind of thing, is it possible to get an alert on your phone if they wander out of range, or is that a capability as well?
We're actually looking at a lot of upgrades from a functionality standpoint. That is certainly something that we can do. It doesn't yet, but it will tell you as soon as you open up the app and click on that device, it'll tell you if it's within the range. So you'll already know. Setting parameters and other things are all things that we're looking at for our next round of upgrade.
So tell us about availability and pricing.
Certainly. So the location markers are available today. They're $39.99 online at our website. The website is breadcrumbtech.com. So breadcrumbtech.com. And again, it's $39.99 for a location marker, and there are no additional costs ever for that. The app is free. The batteries are replaceable. You don't have to order those from us. And sharing it is always free.
Interesting. So can you share with us what you've talked about a couple of things, what might be next on the horizon for you?
Absolutely. I mean, we're very excited. So as we think about this connectivity and safety, again, I've mentioned there's some some satellite units that are in the $400 to $700 range. They're very expensive from a monthly cellular connectivity or satellite connectivity standpoint. There's also GPS units out there today that you can connect, and if there's a cell signal, that'll broadcast that GPS unit out. What's important is people may know the general area, but when they get out there, there's no way to connect to that device, which is unique for what we bring. So what we're trying to do is, and we're well on our way, we'll have something in the next 6 months to share and launch, is we're going to have a unit that's just a tiny bit bigger. Say it's about 2.5 by 2.5. It'll be fully cellular connected, GPS enabled. It'll have triangulation from a cell tower if you're under a canopy. And we're going to use a new Bluetooth chipset that will reach out 1,000 feet, so 300 yards. It'll have 14 LEDs. It'll have 5 times the sound. It'll be USB-C rechargeable, which is going to be great because based on our current engineering, we think the thing will not need to be recharged for 2 or 3 months actively used. And what's important is, unlike regular GPS units that don't have any of the Bluetooth functionality, those are in the $150 to $200 range. We're really working hard to try to keep this at $100 or under. And then we're working with a very big cellular supplier. And there's a new shortwave part of the 5G spectrum. There's a new shortwave frequency that'll allow us to literally be $2 a month from a cost standpoint for the cellular connectivity. And so we'll have some of these things. It'll have an SOS button that then, again, has that second level of Bluetooth connectivity out in the field or the outdoors where others can connect to you. And so that's very exciting for us.
Well, it sounds like there's a lot to look forward to. The website, again, is breadcrumbtech.com. Bryan Emrich, thank you for taking the time with us.
You're quite welcome. Thank you so much for letting me talk about my passion project here, and I appreciate it very much.
Now this. Innovation. Hi, I'm Fred Fishkin, and I've been covering consumer technology for a long time, and it takes a lot to impress me. That's why I'm excited to tell you about the latest way to enjoy cooking in the great outdoors from my friend Patrick Sherwin and his great team at GoSun Stove. What if you could harness the sun to cook your meals anywhere you go, day or night? The GoSun Fusion arrives this summer using the company's tried and true reflectors and a solar vacuum tube to get you cooking without the mess of charcoal, heavy propane tanks, or smoke. And with an optional solar panel and battery storage, and the ability to plug in at home or on the road, you really can use the GoSun Fusion to cook anytime and anywhere. Want to learn more? Head to gosun.co and use the code TEXTINATION to save 10%. That's gosun.co.